So we're back again today with more grouping symbols. Grouping symbols are order of operations. So the first thing we'd write on our paper is GMDOS again. Now we can go through this problem. We're doing 5 times 26 minus 4 plus 6. So today, the only difference today from yesterday is that we have more of these grouping symbols. So you just have to be careful with those today. Make sure you bring them down when you're supposed to so that you don't miss the problem. So we start with GMDOS. The G means grouping. So when I'm reading through this, we have 5 times, and then I see the bracket. So my brackets are my first grouping symbol. So what that means is I need to do everything in the brackets. This is everything in the brackets. This is the part I need to do first. Well, inside there I have other grouping symbols, the parentheses, so I'm actually going to do that first. So here is my first step, 26 minus 4. So 26 minus 4 is 22. So I'll write 22 underneath. I'll cross it off. And then I will bring everything down. Yesterday, this is where some of you struggled because you tried to do more than one step at a time and it caused you to miss the problem. So when I bring everything down, my bracket right here is still there. So that's the one that a lot of students miss. I have the times 5 over here, and then on this side I have the minus, the parentheses, 4 plus 6, close parentheses, and the closing bracket. So my next step is to go back to GMDOS, the G for groupings. Well, I still have the bracket, so I'm still doing everything in the brackets. Well, inside the brackets, I have this other grouping symbol, the 4 plus 6. So 4 plus 6 is what comes next. So 4 plus 6 is 10. I'll cross that off, and then I'll copy everything down. So my brackets are still there. The brackets are not gone yet. And I have the times 5. So I go back to GMDOS. Grouping comes first again. I still have that grouping symbol, the brackets. So 22 minus 10 is my next step. So 22 minus 10, 22 minus 10 is 12. Cross it off. Now the brackets are finally gone, and I can copy down just the times 5. So I have 12 times 5. If you know your 12s, then you already know the answer to this. If not, you go off to the side and you do 12 times 5 is 60. And that's your answer. And again, just like yesterday, it should be forming that triangle shape if you're doing one step at a time. Okay, on to number 3, which doesn't really matter because it's the second problem, so it doesn't matter that it's number 3. So it's going to work the same way. We need GMDOS. We're using GMDOS again. So we're going to read through this, and we're looking for grouping symbols. So 36 divided by, there's a bracket. So I'm doing everything in these brackets first. Now inside the brackets, I can see there's other parentheses, so those will actually come first. So my first step here is going to be 18 minus 10. 18 minus 10 gives me, oh, not 1, that's not good. It gives me 8. Cross it off, copy everything down. So I still have this bracket here. That's the one that a lot of students miss. I have the minus, the parentheses are still there on this section, and the closing bracket. And then over here I have the divided by 36. Next, I go back to GMDOS looking for grouping symbols still. So I still have the brackets, doing everything in the brackets. Well, inside the brackets, I have this other grouping symbol, the 8 minus 6. So 8 minus 6 is my next step, which is 2. I'll cross it off, copy everything down. The brackets are still there. If you don't bring the brackets down, that will cause you to miss this type of problem because it changes the order of operations. Then I can go back to GMDOS grouping. I still have the grouping symbols. So 8 minus 2 is going to give me 6. Cross that off. Finally, the brackets are gone. I'll copy everything down, which is just the 36 divided by. So my last step is just one operation, so I just do it. 36 divided by 6. If you know your 6's, you know the answer is 6. And again, it should be forming that triangle shape if you're doing one step at a time.